Now, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says he wants to deepen economic and political ties with India. He made the remarks at a press conference with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Delhi. Scholz's two-day trip to India highlights a growing effort by Western powers to isolate Russia for its invasion of Ukraine.
Following his meeting with the Indian Prime Minister, Olaf Scholz told reporters the war in Ukraine is hurting developing countries, including through global food and fuel shortages.
It is a big catastrophe. Above all, it is a big catastrophe because we know that this war breaks with the principle that we all have agreed on and been following for so long. That borders cannot be changed and moved by force, and that the rule of law regulates international relations, and that revisionism is not allowed to be the basis of international trade.
Scholz went on to reiterate his commitment to sealing a free trade deal between India and the European Union. For the EU, the agreement would strengthen its strategic partnership with the Indo-Pacific region. It could also serve the tactical goal of further isolating Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine by weaning India away from its dependence on Russian arms and energy sources. The two leaders are meeting one day after the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While the Prime Minister agreed on the need for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, he did not deviate from his country's approach of avoiding any overt criticism of Russia.
From the time developments in Ukraine started, India has emphasized the dispute should be resolved through dialogue and diplomacy. India is ready to contribute in any peace process.
During the official visit, Scholz's first since taking office in 2021, members of a high-level delegation accompanying the chancellor signed wind, solar energy, and green hydrogen sector agreements. Germany is also reportedly pursuing a deal to build submarines with India.
At a joint press conference held during Scholz's visit, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserted India's willingness to focus on issues regarding sustainability and climate change.
Last year, during my visit to Germany, we had announced a green and sustainable development partnership. Through this, we are increasing cooperation in the areas of climate action and sustainable development goals. We have decided to work together in areas such as renewable energy, green hydrogen, and biofuels.
Joining us for more on the stories, DW's South Asia Bureau Chief Amrita Chima, who's following Chancellor Scholz's visit for us. Hello, Amrita. We just heard Prime Minister Modi talk about focusing on clean energy. But India is one of the biggest importers of Russian oil. So how is that going to work out?
Well, Eddie, nice to see you. From the Indian perspective, the two things are not linked. India bought Russian oil earlier, but just a fraction of its oil came from Russia. But since its invasion of Ukraine and the disruption that took place due to oil supplies, India's consumption of oil has gone up. India is an energy-hungry country. So India says it has to meet the needs of its people, its immediate needs, and therefore is prepared to take cheap Russian oil. At the same time, it's also very committed, it says, to green energy. You heard what Prime Minister Modi said. He's made a partnership with Germany on clean and sustainable energy and green energy, like green hydrogen, biofuels, and so on. And India has many challenges when it comes to its energy policies, as well as due to climate change and all these issues. But it also has some very creative and smart ways to deal with them. And that's what they're hoping to develop with Germany, because Germany is one of the biggest investors of renewable energy in India.
At the center of it all is the fact that both Germany and India want to strengthen ties. Stay with us, Amrita. Let's hear what German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said about this.
We want to strengthen trade cooperation between the European Union and India. And that's why we're both going to work towards making this free trade deal between our two countries finally happen. It's an important topic, and I'll get personally involved so that this happens at a faster pace than has happened so far.
Amrita, tell us, how important is it for both sides to strengthen strategic ties?
Extremely important, Eddie. In fact, the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, just spoke to journalists a short while ago right here at one of Delhi's most famous monuments and reiterated this point. He also said he talked to the Indian Prime Minister about Russia and reminded him that the consequences of the war and the invasion of Ukraine would not just be felt in Europe, but the consequences will be felt all over the world, including in Asia, Africa, and South America. So warning him basically that India must also play its part in trying to diffuse and de-escalate the situation there. And he said he's prepared to work with India to reach that goal. He also talked about kind of business interests. The two countries have very strong business interests. He's here with a massive business delegation, so they are expected to collaborate and discuss collaborations and even sign some business-to-business agreements in the next couple of days. There are also, of course, climate change that we've mentioned and people-to-people contact. That's another part of the strategic vision that the two countries share, that they must have more exchange of students and skilled personnel and expertise between the two countries. So at multiple levels, the two countries are very keen to deepen their strategic and economic ties.
Okay. DW South Asia Bureau Chief Amrita Chima, thank you very much.